I've made this lesson 2. We're looking at the 5th floor Somerset building, and when we started looking at the grid, we noticed that there were discrepancies in column alignments. In fact, this drawing is correct, and there's some very slight changes in the column sizes, architectural column sizes, and their position. And we learned that from studying, let's see, we have thin line. We learned that from looking at the elevation drawings, which I will pull up briefly. So we have some drawings of the building facades, and they had column lines that show that in fact there's a very unusual irregular array of columns. What does that mean for us? Well, basically we are going to follow what's on the drawings. So the intersection of the grid lines, the column locations represent architectural rectangular columns. There's also, and you can see in these hatched walls, there's a system of concrete walls that form the core of the building and the exterior. So we're going to decide on the thickness for that, similar as we did at 150 Andover. Let's measure. Looks like we've got 11 7/8 there. Exterior of the building's a little bit unusual, but let's look at some other concrete cores. It looks like 1 foot here. Eight inches. So I've identified, there's 1 foot there. I've identified all the columns and placed them. I haven't done this oblique part of the building which faces Somerset yet. But for now, I'm doing sort of the central area. So we need 11 7/8. That should have special significance for you, that dimension. Oh, it's 1 foot on that side, 11 7/8 on that side. I suspect that wants to be 1 foot. 11 7/8 could have been a 12-inch CMU block unit. Let's measure here. Looks like the thickness of that column, 1/8. So we have 20-inch walls over there, and then the depth, 1 foot. I'm going to say with some certainty 8 and 12-inch walls are going to allow us to model the structural system here. I'm missing 2 columns which appear to be 20-inch square. Architecture, I'm using the column, architectural column, and then I'm duplicating that type when I need it. So I'm using 20 by 20, I need 1 here, and I want 1 there. And very often you'll have concrete walls intersecting columns as they do here. Now I've set the building level to level 5 and 6. I just renamed them. If you look at the building elevation, we do have a floor-to-floor height of 12.5 feet. Let's go back to level 5 floor plan. And let us now start drawing walls. I'm going to start with a generic 12-inch wall. And for our purposes, that's going to be fine. It's going to go level 5 to level 6. I'm going to draw location line finish face exterior, so I draw it in a clockwise direction. Let's start at the center. So we can ignore that 11 7/8. Let's stop right at the column. See how that sort of gloms, joins by default that geometry. There's an opening in here, and I suspect that's for a reason. So I'm gonna assume that was deliberate. That is, that's a true break in the shear wall and not just a door inserted into it. Clockwise, there to there, that's another 12-inch wall. Let's draw right around this finish face exterior, and then we'll adjust. Right, we'll intersect. We'll adjust these two walls. That one, I'm going to duplicate the type and make that a 20-inch wall. Edit type, duplicate, generic, 20-inch. Remember, the thickness has to be set in the structure, 20-inch. So that's 1/8. Okay, okay. So that automatically adjusted that wall. Now I can select this wall and change the type to the 20-inch. Generic 20. Right? It's not quite aligned. Is it TL, thin line? Let's select the align tool, modify, align, column, wall. The rest of this looks good. We need an 8-inch wall over there. Let's draw a generic 8-inch wall. We should have one, yeah. Finish face exterior, clockwise direction, and draw from here to there. Stop there. The opposite way here, here to there. Stop. TL shows the line rates. So you see the structure that we're building. We've got slight misaligned element there. I suspect that might have to do with the 11 7/8 versus. Let's ignore that for now. Remember, you always quickly go to the 3D view and you can see sort of what you're doing. So you see what we're building here. Right? This is going to be the 5th floor. This is a structural grid. We need to create these cores as well. And then we'll deal with the exterior walls. In a way, this is a reverse of what we did with 150 Andover. We're starting on the inside, but the reason we're starting on the inside is because we don't have that structural model, and in this case we're building it from the evidence that we have about the building. Go back to the plan view. Let's go ahead and use the the walls to draw these elevator cores here. So I'm gonna go back to there's my 8-inch wall. I'm gonna trace right through and stop. Do we want to go past that? No, there's the curtain wall there. So I'm gonna go just about there. Stop there. Where else do we have the 8-inch wall? I think I've drawn it pretty much. Okay, let's, oh, we have around here. Oops. No, we need the 1-foot wall, generic 12-inch. Let's just go right around this set of elevators. And meet that wall. So I'm not concerned with the openings yet in the elevator. There are a couple little segments here that I think we can. I'm just stopping at sort of, the midpoint of that wall. We've got some circular columns. Architecture column, architectural column was changed to, we don't have a circular one loaded, so let us load that. Insert. Insert, load family. Columns round. That looks like a 18-20 foot. Let's see if a 24-inch diameter is right. That looks about right. One there. One there. Where else? One here. That's a smaller one. Let's call that a 20-inch. Let's edit the type, duplicate, remember, duplicate, rename, 20-inch diameter. And change this to 20 inches. I guessed at that, but I think, after looking at this, that one is less than 20, I'm going to say 1.5. So let's go edit type, duplicate, 18-inch diameter. Change this to 18. 18 inches, it's 1/6. That looks right. More of this you can do, the more valuable you'll be at your. This one looks like a 20-inch square one. So let's go to the 20-inch. I'm tapping the space bar to rotate it. So that'll put that one there. And I think I've got all of my columns. Again, you go to your 3D view. Right? And you can see what you've done and what you haven't. Right? So we've identified most of the structural system here. 15 minutes is long enough for this video. This file will be saved in my handouts folder for 20 Somerset.